Would you tell cities that aren't doing what, New York, New Jersey, Washington, the cities that have been taking charge in all of this, would you urge some of the cities that haven't been doing this, Mr. President, to get with the program?
Well, I would, but if you see New York, I believe the blue is New York. New York is having a much harder time than other of the cities. Certain cities are doing, actually, if you look down here, an incredible job. They were early, they were very, very firm, and they've done an incredible job. This is New Jersey, New York. This is...
if you remember, California and Washington State were down here, and they had some of the earliest cases.
But we're seeing places in Florida not doing what New York and New Jersey have been doing, what Washington State has been doing.
They're doing very well with comparison.
Thank you, sir. Philip Whiteman with Real Clear Politics. I wanted to ask you about individual states issuing stay-at-home orders. What do you think, for instance, in Florida, Ron DeSantis has resisted urges to issue one of those, but he said moments ago that if you and the rest of the task force recommended one, that would weigh on him heavily. What sort of circumstances need to be in place for you to make that call and say this is something you should consider?
Different kind of a state. Also, great governor, knows exactly what he's doing, has a very strong view on it. And we have spoken to Ron. Mike, do you want to just tell him a little bit about that?
At the President's direction, the White House Coronavirus Task Force will continue to take the posture that we will defer to state and local health authorities on any measures that they deem appropriate. But for the next 30 days, this is what we believe every American in every state should be doing at a minimum to slow the spread.
So unless we see something obviously wrong, we're going to let the governors do it. Now, if it's obviously wrong, I mean, people can make things, they can make a decision that we think is so far out that it's wrong, we will stop that. But in the case of Governor DeSantis, there's two thoughts to it, and two very good thoughts to it. And he's been doing a great job in every respect, so we'll see what happens. But we only would exercise if we thought somebody was very obvious. So go ahead, your turn.
Yes, this may be an uncomfortable question, but what would the models have looked like that Dr. Birx and Dr. Fauci showed us if we had started these social distancing guidelines sooner, in February or January, when China, South Korea were doing those sorts of things?
Well, I'm going to let them answer that.
In terms of what information we're getting from them, but if we had started these practices sooner, could these models be different right now?
I'm going to let them answer the question.
Because you understand the painful part of my question, and please, I don't mean to put you on the spot.
No, we understand, but we
there may
can't
be
answer it
Americans at home
until
saying,
we
if we
see
had
that.
started this sooner, we might not have 100,000 to 200,000 Americans dying.
Well, that makes an assumption that it was here. There was a lot back here that we didn't see. And until we had the antibody test, I can't really answer that.
Just to underscore what Dr. Birx was saying, if there was no virus in the background, there was nothing to mitigate. If there was virus there that we didn't know about, then the answer to your question is probably yes. Now, the only trouble with that is that whenever you come out and say something like that, it always becomes almost a soundbite that gets taken out of context. But I think that's very important, what Dr. Birx has said, is that if there was covert infections here that we didn't know about and we didn't mitigate then they would have made a difference. If there was virtually nothing there, then there's nothing to mitigate. And I don't know the answer to your question.
But we were watching South Korea, and China and Italy, and we weren't taking action when those countries were spiking.
Sure. In a perfect world, it would have been nice to know what was going on there. We didn't, but I believe, Jim, that we acted very, very early in that.
If we had adequate testing, would we have known?
We would have known the same thing.